Happy opening day, JD. How are you?
I'm great, Shan Pat. How are you guys, man?
Great, man.
Doing well. Excited for the start of a new season. Do you have the same giddiness? What's the first thing you're going to eat? A pack of peanuts, a hot dog? I know it's jalapeno bacon in Arizona. Do you have an opening day tradition that you're going to keep following today?
You know what? I'm looking forward to taking my son out of school early and kind of strapping on and watching here at home. Our opening day tradition, we've been home, so I feel like the bulk of opening days, and so I always kind of have the family there with me at the game and looking forward to that. But we'll instead of the ballpark, we'll switch it to the couch in the living room this morning or this afternoon.
What are your goals and expectations for this season?
Growth. One word, growth. I think first, there's a lot that goes into that. Obviously, from what we're doing with the rebuilding the farm system and trying to add talent, and we've got this unique opportunity with the number 2 pick in the country, and then really the second pick of every round. So we're going to add a ton of talent there. But the major league level, obviously, external expectations are what they are. I think that's been a little bit of a driver. And there's like an underdog, overachiever type mentality to this group. When you got guys like Kiner and Joey and Kyle Gibson and guys that have been around and believe that we can accomplish more than is expected. So I think listen, we need to see growth individually. We need to see it as a club. I think Woody's been pushing these guys hard. I was actually really encouraged in spring training, the attention to detail, the style of play. I think we're going to be a much better defensive club. We're going to run the bases a lot better. I think it's going to be a much more appealing style of baseball for our fans to watch. We'll be more competitive. Where it ends up in the standings, and we understand, we didn't build this team with the full expectation to go out and win a World Series this year. We're getting back to that, but we've got to play better baseball, and I think this group has a lot of desire, and I expect we're going to do that.
Who are some of the other names, JD, besides Gallo, IKF, that you think fans should really pay attention to this year, who stood out during spring training? Who are some of the other names you're really excited about for the growth?
Well, starting the outfield, obviously Joey, one of the best, probably our most talented player and one of the best players in the league. Two-way player. We've seen in 2019 when he was fully healthy what he's capable of. Offensively, probably was the best outfield defender in the game. He and Mookie Betts last year, and then keep going from there. I think David Dahl really showed that he's had the injury bug in the past in Colorado. I think getting out of that environment is going to help him. He had a very good spring. He's kind of challenged himself, and I think Joey and our hitting guys have helped there too. David's an aggressive swinger. He's not a guy who's going to draw 100 walks, but he's a little more of a slasher. I think he's going to be a high average guy, and he's going to do some damage as well. He's in good shape. He's an athlete, and I think him and Joey hitting towards the top of the lineup. He's all-star 2 years ago. And then Leody Taveras and Eli White. Taveras is kind of the 22-year-old, always been a top prospect. Eli was a college shortstop who's transitioned to center field. I really think that's his natural spot, and I think both those two guys have like Gold Glove type talent. So I think you're going to have a very athletic outfield, which in our ballpark is necessary. It's a big park, a big outfield with the turf. I think the ball gets out there fairly quickly, and so we think that could be a real competitive advantage for us. I think Leody's the kind of guy that there's really no ceiling, no limit to what ultimately he can become. He's still super young, only had a half season above A-ball before last year, but excited about what he can do on both sides. So I think the outfield is a real strength. Nick Solak, another guy that looking forward to watch. He up until last year he'd hit at every level, high school, college, minor leagues, and then the half season he had with us in the big leagues in 2019. A lot of guys, I think last year was kind of an odd season. It was kind of a start-stop. He had some really great players struggle, and Nick fit in that category. He struggled some, but he's always hit. I think he's going to hit, and really like where the kind of his mindset is and how it fits on the club.
Rangers President of Baseball Operations, John Daniels, joining us here on 105.3 The Fan. John, it's not every day you wake up and the President of the United States is criticizing your organization. What was your reaction when you saw President Biden and what he said about you guys having a full capacity crowd on Monday?
Yeah, first off, I have a ton of respect for the office of the president and for President Biden himself, and not really surprised to see that. I'm hopeful that with vaccine rollout, with mask requirements at the park, and some level of distancing. Obviously, with a full crowd, you're not going to have full distancing there. I'm hopeful that provides some level of security, kind of safety from a public health standpoint. But certainly the understand when the organization made that decision, it was not going to be popular with everyone. I think it's a one-time event. I think after opening day, reality is we're not going to be at full capacity. I doubt it. We are in very few seasons, except for our best years, and so I do think that the opening day, the visual and the reality of having a lot of people that close together does kind of go maybe against some of the recommendations. I'm hopeful that people are responsible and wear masks so we can enjoy a good time out. But after that, I don't see it being a regular occurrence. So again, not necessarily my area of responsibility and decision making, but I do see it's kind of a complex issue, and I do see why the president would say what he said.
Back to the baseball aspect and putting the team on the field, you have a very important decision coming up here in just a few months, number 2 pick in the draft. And I'm curious, you mentioned a second ago the outfield and how important outfielders are with the big stadium and how the ballpark is playing. How much does Globe Life Field and kind of feeling like a pitcher's park play into your strategy with the number 2 pick in the Major League Baseball draft upcoming?
So I do think it'll affect some how we build the club going forward, right? I mean, I think at the old park, we would have like offensive players coming off a down year that we felt were talented that might want to sign with us, and we can kind of mutually benefit from it, right? We could get a good year out of them, and they might build their value and go back out there. Mark DeRosa, Milton Bradley, guys like that, Gary Matthews Jr., guys that stand out over the years that worked out with. So I think that there may be those kind of opportunities on the pitching side here, because we don't have enough data to really say like definitively how the park's going to play. We played 30 home games last year, plus MLB had another 20 or so in the postseason. And I don't think that that's enough for us to say definitively this is how it's going to play. But it does appear somewhat anecdotally and based on the limited data we do have that it's going to tend to be more of a certainly neutral, maybe erring on the side of a pitcher-friendly park. And so, we touched on the outfield. I think that's, we're going to have to be more athletic there than the old park required, because I think there would be more balls in play, more chance to, run down the ball in the gap. You're going to want to cut balls off in the gap so singles don't turn into doubles, doubles don't turn into triples, things of that nature. And I think it puts a real premium on, from a pitching standpoint on, you can't walk guys, because you don't want to give the other team opportunities to have base runners and generate runs that way. But as far as the number 2 pick in the draft, I don't see us making a decision based on the ballpark, where we're going to take the best player, most talented player available right there.
Sounds like your dog has a decision that he would like.
That's right. He's pissed about something.